a great day, everyone. I am Renemir Arbulatag, and we're going to discuss the portfolio credit risk. So, in this discussion, we are going to have these learning outcomes, which is to discuss the types of credit portfolio and the concept of portfolio credit risk, illustrate the different types of credit risk, and last, get acquainted with credit portfolio management and some related concepts. So portfolio credit risk. So first and foremost, we are going to determine what is a portfolio. So when you say portfolio, it's a collection of financial investments like stocks, bonds, cash, commodities, cash equivalents, including closed-end funds and exchange-traded funds or ETFs. So people generally believe that stocks, bonds, and cash comprise the core of a portfolio. So a credit portfolio, it's a collection of credit exposure that is formed as part of financial intermediation. For example, I am the lender, so I have borrower 1 and borrower 2. These borrowers are put in a one portfolio, so that is a credit portfolio. And in any credit portfolio, there is a risk. So, for example, what if the borrower 1 will have a default? What is his relation or correlation to borrower 2, how it will affect? And so when you say portfolio credit risk, it's the measure of the uncertainty of returns or determining defaults risk to the borrowers. So credit risk. So when you say credit risk, it's a probability of financial loss or resulting from a borrower's failure to pay a loan. So in credit risk, it refers to the risk that a lender may not receive the owed principal and interest, which result in an interruption of cash flows or increase of cost of collection. So it's very important that as a lender, for example, if I am a lender, I can mitigate a credit risk because in order to mitigate credit risk, it's beneficial to us as a lender for us to get those borrowed money and to have those interest paid. So to mitigate credit risk, it's very important to analyze the factors about the borrower's credit worthiness. That is very important. We should analyze the factors of the borrower's credit worthiness because as a lender, you are going to be borrowed by someone that you should determine if he or she can pay those terms that you are giving to him or her. So also, it's very important to know the current income of that borrower because it's how they will pay those current debt that you are going to provide to them. So in a transaction or a financial intermediation, we cannot avoid. It's impossible to know exactly who among those borrowers will have a default on obligations. So it's very important to properly assess and manage credit risk to lessen the severity of loss. So as a lender, you are tasked to assess and manage credit risk for you to lessen the severity of loss. And in credit risk, we are going to determine also as a lender the credit score. Credit score is an indicator that the lenders use to assess how you are going to default. So this one are the example of credit risk. So as you can see, so Mr. Tony, he is the borrower, so he wants to purchase a car worth 1,000,000 and 1,020,000. So he take loan in a bank, and the bank is having a risk management check. The bank will determine on what is the high credit risk and the lower credit risk of Mr. Tony. So here, the higher credit risk of Mr. Tony is the application may rejected, and the lower credit risk is to get the approval for loan and also will allocate lower money. So that is the credit risk example. And the continuation of my report will be followed by Jovelyn Keduyak. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jovelyn G. Kaduyak and I am your next reporter. So, the topic I have to report is all about how credit risk arises and types of credit risk 1, 2, and 3. So, how credit risk arises is first is we need to know what is credit risk all about. So, ang credit risk is the possibility of a loss happening due to a borrower's failure to repay a loan or to satisfy contractual obligations. So, traditionally, it can show the chances that a lender may not accept the owed principal and interest. So, this ends up in an interruption of cash flows and improved cost for collection. So, ang credit risk is often considered a one-way risk because it is exists when an organization is owed payment or an obligation by another party. So, ang credit risk is mo arise na siya when a corporate or individual borrower fails to meet their debt obligations. So, it is the probability that the lender will not receive the principal and interest payment of a debt required to service and debts extended to a borrower. And now, let's proceed to the types of credit risk. So first is credit spread risk. So ang credit spread risk means that the risk arising from the changes in the market value of debt financial instruments due to fluctuations in their credit spread. So ang credit spread risk is the potential loss arising from a decline in value of an instrument due to deterioration in the creditworthiness of the issuer of the instrument.
Hello, good day everyone. So today I'm going to report types of credit. Number four, counterparty risk. So, when we talk about counterparty risk, it is a probability that other party in an investment, credit or trading transaction may not fulfill its part of the deal and default on the contractual obligations. So, kung mag-isgot about sa counterparty risk, it refers to a likelihood that a transactor might default on its contractual obligation. So example ana kay ang example sa ang isa ka example sa counterparty risk mao ang borrower's credit score.
Good day, everyone. I am Casey Galar Bilabo. So today I'm going to discuss credit risk versus interest rate. So credit risk versus interest rate happens if there is a higher level of perceived credit risk. Investor and lender usually demand a higher rate of interest for their capital. So for further discussion, first we're going to define what is credit risk. So credit risk is a probability of a financial loss resulting from a borrower's
So good day, I am Rizal May Tabian, and I was assigned to tackle about the credit portfolio and the types of credit portfolios. So, credit portfolio is any collection of credit exposure that is formed as part of financial intermediation activities, regularly lending projects or derivative contracts or any investment in credit risk sensitive securities such as cooperative banks, which is
Good day, my name is Ivana Marie Palinit, and my report for today is about portfolio risk and credit portfolio management. What is portfolio risk? Is a chance the combination of assets or units within the investment that you own fail to meet financial objectives. Each investment within a portfolio carries its own risk, with higher potential return typically meaning higher risk. And the second one is credit portfolio management or CPM. This denotes a set of principles, tools, processes that underpin the management of credit portfolios collections of credit assets. The defining characteristic of credit portfolio management activities is that credit risk is assessed and managed not only a standalone basis but in aggregate portfolio setting. And that will be all. Thank you.